once again, Metal Gear Solid 3 for the PlayStation 2.
Fucking go.
Developed by Konami in 2004 for the PlayStation 2. Played on the PS Vita. Reviewed by V1 Steve with me today. Hello, sir.
Alright, what's the story?
Excellent, and you're listening to Jay Hunter, one of the hosts of OSW Review. Let's do it to it.
Grammar, that is.
So we're talking Metal Gear Solid 3 today. It's a prequel and is the origins of the entire Metal Gear series.
Ah, yes it is. Well, actually it's not really, but it is. It is the earliest game, but it's not the origins of the story. The origins of the story takes place about 50 years before this.
Ah, the Skyward Sword of the series.
Yes! Yeah! Excellent.
So, what's the story about?
Oh, it's amazing. It's 1964. Cold War's in full swing. It's rumoured that the Russians are building a super tank called the Shagohod, which will allow them to launch a undetectable nuclear strike from anywhere at any time. So the US government get wind of this. They send Snake in, who at the time is Naked Snake. Fucking Kojima, man.
Unsheathed penis.
Basically, evil Russians have kidnapped a nuclear scientist, brought him to a facility in the middle of the jungle, and they send Snake in to kill as many people as possible and get the scientist, bring him back to America so they can build their own Shagohod. Spoiler alert, it becomes Metal Gear.
Oh, thank God.
Yeah.
I was like, why don't you build a Metal Gear?
Because it's the 60s and they had no Metal Gears.
Ah.
You play as Naked Snake, who is not Solid Snake. He is Solid Snake's father, although not proper father, because they're clones. Big boss who Naked Snake would go on to become. So from this point on, I'm just going to call him Big Boss. Okay? He is like a great soldier. He was trained by the boss, who is a female. She is the greatest soldier who has ever lived. Shit goes down. The boss turns heel, joins the Russians, absolutely destroys Big Boss, leaves him for dead, has 2 nukes that she robbed from the US, and she fires one at a factory in Russia, thus causing the Russian government to go absolutely mental, right? So as opposed to going straight into World War III, Big Boss is like, hold on a minute, I'm fucking Big Boss, let me go in and fix it. I will get your other nuke back. I will get the scientist. I'll get the Shagohod. I'll kill the evil Russians, and I'm going to kill the boss because she's a cunt who heel turned, right? So that becomes Operation Snake Eater, and that is the setup for Metal Gear 3, right? Oh, it's fucking amazing. I don't know if I want to give away the whole story because, like, spoilerific. Like, it is the best plot of a Metal Gear game by a mile. And considering that they're probably the greatest plot in gaming, that probably means that this is the greatest plot for a game ever.
That's some high praise.
Maybe the exception being The Last of Us.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. Incredible plot.
So is the voice acting improved?
The voice acting is a big leap above what Part 2 was.
Why would anyone want to defect? Betraying your country like that, I just don't get it.
People and countries are both changed by their environment and by the times.
He wouldn't have come waltzing back in here unless he had a reason. The C3's been stolen. He must be planning some sort of sabotage.
I can't say it feels good to kill a comrade, even if it is for the GRU.
There's nothing more important to a soldier than his eyes. You made him a soldier, and now you will unmake him. Yes, it'll make for a touching display.
Once again, David Hayter plays Big Boss. He's brilliant. even better than Metal Gear 2. He's just fantastic. The big Russian evil guy, Volgan, he's probably the worst. He's a bit of a fucking comedy villain, like not comedy haha, but like panto villain, like a bit cheesy. But the rest of the cast are absolutely amazing. The boss, who is turned heel and she's with them, but her character model is unbelievable. It looks real, you know, and this is on PS2, like. And there's also Eva. She is a Russian soldier who is an expert in encryption and codes and all that stuff. And then, of course, you know, as the game goes on, this being a Metal Gear Solid, nothing is as it seems. Eva isn't who she says she is. Turns out she's like a triple agent. She's working for the US, infiltrating the Russians, but she's doing all of that for the Chinese. It's crazy. Her acting, fantastic. I'd say the writing is even better than 4, because 4 has to kind of fill in a lot of plot holes and stuff. As a plot, just this game alone and not looking at the bigger picture, it's just wonderful.
So she's doing it for the Chinese?
Eva is a triple agent for the Chinese because they want the plans to make their own Metal Gear.
So would you say she's a 3-in-1?
Yes, I would.
And how does the game look?
Again, worlds better than 2. For the first time ever, it's now not a top-down 3D game. It's a third-person action game. So the camera is floating at the back of the character, and you have the freedom to move it up, down, left, right, swing the camera around. Of course, you can look in first person, aim in first person. Holy shit, you can move in first person. The worst thing is that you can't move and crouch yet, because by this point, Splinter Cell had been out for 7 years, and you've been able to crouch walk since the first one. So, you know, I was really crying out for that. With the exception of not being able to move while crouching, this game is 100 times better than 2. Looks better, feels better, sounds better. Everything about it is just top notch, top quality.
Awesome. Can you tell me about the camouflage system?
Oh, excellent. Yes, great question. For the first time ever, they brought in an active camo system. Most Metal Gear games up to this point had...
really tight underwear, see?
Most of the games had taken place in a factory or some kind of warehouse or...
lots of boxes.
Yes. Lots of corridors, lots of small rooms, lots of grey or orange or something like that, you know? This game takes place all over the place. Jungle settings, there's river banks, bunkers, mountainous areas, so you're literally just getting to see whole different like colour palettes that have never been seen in a Metal Gear game, and that's why the active camo system means so much in this game. So basically, if you're in a jungle setting, you'll pause it and you'll go up to your camo and you'll have a list of like maybe 30 different things, and you basically go down a list and just see which one has the highest camo rating. There's a different camo system for leafy areas, trees, mountainous, indoors, outdoors, riverbanks, water. It's very cool. It makes you always think about where you're going, you know. So basically you're saying, right, I am here in this little patch of grass. I have got my green gear on, but I need to make it to that building over there. But in the meantime, it's all just muck and dirt. So you will have to get out then and crouch, then change to your muck camo and crawl over, and then you get on the grass like, fuck, I have to change back to grass camo, and then you get inside and change to your indoor camo. It's really cool. It's new. It just kind of adds more ways to just play the game. And just to go on from there, there is also the system of hunger. So you're legging around, your character's meter is getting like smaller and smaller. So at about halfway down, his belly will like rumble. Which will, A, it warns you that you need to eat, and B, if you're near a baddie, then he'll actually hear that and be like, what the hell is that? So that's really cool.
Really cool, yeah.
As a result, you've got to go around the jungles and hunt animals, be it snakes, deers, rabbits, tree frogs, which actually they sing about the tree frog in the Snake Eater theme. It's hilarious.
This is the kind of Bond style game, isn't it?
Yeah.
So Snake Eater.
It may eat a tree frog. It's great.
And someday you'll feed on a tree frog. It's ordeal, the trial to survive. For the day we see new life. Snake Eater.
I've spooged about the music in all the games, and this one is so much better than everything else that has come. The Snake Eater theme, the first time I heard it, I thought it was terrible. I thought it was cheesy, and I don't really like Bond. The soundtrack, the more I heard it, it's absolutely amazing. There's one boss battle in this game, goes on for like an hour and a half. After you do that, you've got to climb up this ladder from a bunker to the top of a mountain. Climbing up the ladder takes about 5 minutes of just holding up, and that sounds like the most monotonous thing ever, but coming off such an epic boss battle, it's actually nice. And then as you're climbing up the ladder, they play the Snake Eater song. Nice. So it just kicks in, and it was at that point where I was like, oh, this is a great song. And they also do it again with a different song when you're just killing this random boss. This girl just belts in with this awesome like power ballad song. I was like, oh, Kojima, you are good, mate. You are good. Sneaky.
Did they just steal that in Tomb Raider then? Because she takes ages walking to the top of the ladder.
Yeah, probably. Yeah.
You know, the radio antenna.
That's right, yeah.
So the final few hours of the game?
Oh, right. Before I get there, I'm going to talk about the greatest boss I've ever played in any game. I've been playing games for like 25 years or so. I've played a lot of games, and I've been blown away by this. How creative it is, how cool it is, how different it is. Before I get there, all of the bosses in this game are part of the boss's crew from World War II. She was the greatest soldier ever, and she had trained up her crew of like 5 or 6 guys. So there's like the sorrow and the joy and the end and the pain, and they've all different gimmicks. And the end is a sniper. He's like 100 and something years old. And
was he frozen for some of that? Or
no.
Is he a human?
Yes, but as with Metal Gear, the baddies often have powers and shit. So this guy is so old, and he's known as the greatest sniper who's ever lived. He never misses, right? And he's willing to sit in his perch for days or weeks just waiting. So rumor has it that he spent so long once waiting on a person that his body developed the ability to photosynthesize. It's ridiculous. So I just get the
evolution
photosynthesis.
I know. We can act like plants. Photosynthesis. 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 Photosynthesis.
So yeah,
if you shoot him, green blood better come out.
As chlorophyll. As ridiculous as that is, and it makes for the most exciting boss battle I've ever played. So basically, you're in this massive forest that has multiple areas. You have your sniper rifle, and he has his. So you have to get in there, hide from him, find him, sneak up on him, and shoot him. At which time he'll get out, flashbang, throw it, and you'll be blinded, and he goes away, finds a different spot, and you have to find him over again. It takes about 7 or 8 goes. Like, there was once where I couldn't find him for like half an hour. There are a couple of ways to find him. One is just looking around, because he's using his rifle. Every 30 seconds or so, there'll like be a glare off his sight of his rifle. If you get up and run, you're dead. He'll shoot you straight away. So you always have to be down and you have to crawl everywhere. So this is how it can take up to like an hour and a half. Second way is you can use your infrared. That's also dodgy because there are deer and rabbits and shit around. So, you know, it could be anything. And then the last way is to use your optic mic, aiming at different areas. And when you get to him, you'll hear him breathe. So then you can go in and kill him. Oh, seriously, I could never put it into words how exciting this is. It sounds so boring. It's like, what are you talking about? You're crawling in the grass for an hour and a half trying to shoot this bloke who can photosynthesize? Come on. But it's incredible. It's, like I said, it's the best boss battle I've ever had. I actually died on the first go, and that was like an hour and a half in. So then on the second go, it took me like another hour and a half. So I'd sat there playing my Vita for 3 hours straight. Didn't even move. Like, exhilarating. Absolutely incredible. And then, of course, there's the last couple of hours of the game.
So it's like you think the game's over and it keeps going.
Oh, it just keeps on going, right? So the final bit of your mission, you've got to go in and find the evil Russian guy and kill him, okay? So you go in there and you kill him and you think the game is over, but it's like, hell no. How about 3 more hours and about 6 more boss battles? And it just doesn't stop. You hop onto Eva's bike. She has a bike and a carriage. So she's driving around the base and there's like hundreds of people chasing you, shooting at you. Shagohad tank is chasing you, firing rockets, and you're just in the back shooting everything. So you finally do that. And then you've got to take out a bridge, and then you got to fight the Shagohod again, and then you got to fight Volgan again, and then you've got to fight Volgan on top of the Shagohod. Then the fucking boss shows up, and you have to have a hand-to-hand combat fight with the boss. Absolutely gorgeous scene. You're like in this field of like lilies blowing in the wind. You know that awesome scene in Predators that was directed by Tarantino?
Yes, yeah,
with the breeze and the grass. Mm-hmm. It's basically that, but done like 10 years earlier. It's incredible. Absolutely amazing. And the music during the final battle with the boss, once again, it's the Metal Gear theme, but it's changed up again. It's absolutely stunning. Beautiful ending. And of course, all of the plot comes out. I'm not going to spoil it. Great plot twists that set the entire motion for one of the greatest sagas ever. Just set it all going. It's incredible. Everyone should play this game. I mean, everyone. I don't care if you only play MOBAs or fucking Minecraft, whatever game, I don't care. You should play this game. It's the greatest game of the PS2 era. There's no doubt about it. And it holds up just as well today. It can go toe to toe with most games and beat it. There's very, very little bad about it. Incredible.
That's a huge praise, Steve. That's
breathtaking game. Amazing.
Like a cornerstone of the industry, kind of.
Yeah. Like seriously, there's very few games like 6 years later that have bettered 7 years later, whatever it is. Like.
Cool. So reasons you should buy the game.
In terms of plot, it is the best of the series by a mile. The new third-person camera makes playing the game so much better. Those random bits of you going into a room and being seen by someone just out of the camera shot, that's all gone. Fantastic. As is the writing. The writing is also the best of the entire series. The acting, mostly brilliant. I'll get to the bits that aren't great later on. Another thing that is the best of the entire series are the bosses, including one of the best bosses I've ever played in any game. The final few hours are non-stop, just a rush of everything. Brilliant. And of course, the ending, fantastic. Like I said, it also sets up everything else. So if you've played Metal Gear 1 and 2 as you're playing this game, you're going, holy fucking shit, that's how it happened. It's really, really clever. And some of the points that I didn't enjoy, there was one character that I thought was kind of jobbed out. That's Ocelot.
Then die.
Who I actually haven't mentioned yet, which is crazy because he's probably the most important character in the entire series.
Does he eat food off his tummy?
That's awesome. Yeah, in this game, he's a fucking pansy. He's a young Russian soldier, and I don't know if they were going for it, but very strong gay overtones. Like, because his name is Ocelot, they needed to add in like an Ocelot call where he goes, "Arrgh!" And he does it like 3 times in the whole game, and I pissed myself laughing every time, and then had my head in my hands, because by the time you get to 4, this guy's the most important person in Metal Gear. Like, so stupid. He's just really, really terrible in this game until the end where he's kind of cool. I didn't like the hunger system. It annoyed me the fact that you have an entire bar for hunger. What bar? But his tummy starts to grumble when you get halfway through it. So what's the point of the other half? It's just a bit silly.
Does he die at the end if you don't feed him? Like,
no. If your hunger goes all the way to 0, if you get shot, his life won't go back up over time. So it's like Minecraft. And finally, the last thing I don't like about the game is that there's no resolution to the events of the end of Metal Gear 2. The end of Metal Gear 2 changes the entire series. So, I don't know, can you imagine waiting 7 years and I was like, it's a prequel! Fuck you! Give me your money! And then again in Metal Gear 4. Yeah, so that's basically it, you know. But like, those 3 nitpicks are nothing. This game is incredible.
So overall, what do you think of the game?
I couldn't say enough good things. I don't have enough words to say enough good things. Buy it. Go out there and play it, and then play it again. Even though this is chronologically the first game of the series, don't play it until after 2. Because if you play this first and then go back to Metal Gear 1 and be like, oh my god, state of your game, mate. So yeah, play it, but play it in the proper order.
Okay, marks out of 10?
9.5. I don't know why I'm not giving it a 10, but at the very least a 9.5. It's incredible.
Awesome. Great, so I hope you enjoyed this Metal Gear Solid 3 review. We will be back next time with another one. So, it's a goodbye from Steve.
Here.
And myself, Jay Hunter. And remember...
It's ridiculous.
A winner is...
Is
that how our song goes?